Hey guys, there are 5 things that I wanted to talk about the Federer and Tsitsipas match. For those of you that got to see it, um, really good match, of course. I am not really surprised that it happened because from the moment I saw that Federer was gonna play Tsitsipas, I knew that it was gonna be tough. Um, Tsitsipas has been playing very well for quite a while now. It's from the next generation wave of players. I think that he in the last, I would say probably in the last 6 months, together with Zverev, is probably the ones that have improved the most. And I'm not leaving aside Shapovalov, and I'm not leaving aside Rublev and some of the other guys, but I think that mentally he's the one that definitely has improved the most. I saw Zverev last night losing to Raonic, which is it's hard for he just doesn't seem to be able to. I don't know if it's a mental block or something, but he just doesn't seem to be able to make his breakthrough in the majors. But I have no doubt about it. And but I wanted to do this blog about the Federer and Tsitsipas match because I think there are several things that we can talk about the Tsitsipas plan, what he did to beat Federer, which um, I don't think he had a bad day. Is he just I will say the main thing is he didn't finish the points. He didn't finish the games. He had 12 break point opportunities, and one of the I will have to say one of the things that professional players have that amateurs fail at. One of the most notorious differences between an amateur and a professional is that professionals, if you give them the chance, they'll take it. It's very it's it is it's very common to see matches where you see one of the two guys on TV. He has 3 or 4 chances to break and he just can't. And then you see the other guy having one chance and he takes it. Especially if you're talking about Djokovic and Nadal and Federer. But I mean, kudos to Tsitsipas who played a really good match, and he had a plan. You could tell right away he had a plan in mind. And the first thing that I noticed, it's exactly that. That's the first thing I want to talk about is the break points. Tsitsipas controlled his nerves very well during. I mean, 12 break points for Federer, and not being able to, not allowing him to win one of them. It's huge. It's a very very difficult task. And one of the things that I have to say for all of us to learn, one of the things that Tsitsipas does or did that is very important when you find yourself in that situation is you got to make the other guy play. If you're a break, if you have a break point and you're serving, and it's very common that many times it's easy to lose your head and try to make a big serve or trying to do the 1 and 2 big serve and forehand winner, and sometimes in a split second with the return of our opponent's return, things can change. I mean, dramatically huge. So it's a very important thing that when I would say any time you find yourself playing a very important point, and it's you're always gonna jump. You're always gonna whenever you have, of course, you have the chance to attack. You take it, but the first thing in mind is that you got to make okay. Let's make the other guy play first, and then you gotta be patient, waiting for the chance to be aggressive. And being patient doesn't mean that you're just gonna be slicing the ball, kind of overdoing it like Raonic was doing last night with Zverev. I mean, there was on the third set there was a point where Raonic, it was one of his match points, and the point, it was like a 29-27 shot point. But Raonic he started slicing everything in the match, and he's slicing and slicing and slicing. And there were shots that Zverev did that were just floating balls in the middle of the court, and Raonic will just slice it. And the slice was working. That definitely was working against Zverev. It definitely did. And I think that slice is one of the best things you can do when you're playing a guy, one, that hits the ball hard, two-handed backhand or forehand, slice it, but that's something for another block. That's one of the best weapons you can have with any two-handed player. You're really gonna get him. You're just pounding. You're pounding their legs. That's it. You're just pounding the body. So it was working, but there were shots where Raonic could very well hit that backhand. And in one of them, I mean, there was one point where he started just doing that and he lost the point. Say, dude, you match point. You cannot wait for the other guy to miss it. If you have the chance, if you're in the position, if you're inside the court, be aggressive. So making your opponent play one more shot is very important when you're under pressure. That's one of the things that Tsitsipas did perfectly against Federer. The second one is he pinpointed his forehand. He showed him that he was not afraid. He will rally forehand to forehand with Federer, and whenever he had a chance to attack Federer and get him off balance, if that meant that Federer's forehand side was open, he will go to that side. That he showed him that he was not afraid of his forehand. He was not afraid of saying, you know what? If I make a wide shot to your backhand and I see you recovering and your forehand is open, if you have a gap on your forehand, I'm gonna go there. A lot of players wouldn't do it because or they will be doubtful because they say, oh well, this is Federer's forehand. So I have to make a really good shot if I really want to hurt him. Even though he's recovering, probably a little bit of balance and moving back to the middle of the court. But when you're in the position to hurt the other guy, even if hurting the other guy means going to his main weapon, do it. Guys, players, regardless of the level, they're not used to see people going for their weapon. They are not used to see people saying, you know what, I'm going there. How about that? Because I'm going there, and it's not just the fact that you're sending the message that you're gonna go for the gap, whatever it is. It doesn't matter where it's open. You're just gonna go there. It's not only that message that you're sending, physically making the guy move. It's more the mental, the psychological message saying, I know your forehand is good, but if I can hurt you there, I am gonna go. If I can hurt you with going after your forehand, I'm gonna do it. I'm not afraid to do it. So mentally, it's very different when a guy is playing. It's very different when you're playing someone and you know that someone is completely avoiding your main weapon. Than when you see that guy and you say, you know what, this guy, he has to go to my forehand. He's gonna go there. He doesn't care. You know, it takes you aback. It's like, wow, I didn't see that coming. So it's not only what is the effect is gonna take in the game plan, but the bigger effect is gonna be on your opponent's head, saying this guy, he's not afraid of going for my forehand. When you're serving to the due side, you go down the line, and every now and then you go wide too, and the guy knows that, dude, he's not afraid to go in for my forehand. He might make some good shots and he might win some points, but that is a very many times that's a price worth paying worth paying for what's coming, for the reward. And that's something that Tsitsipas did very well. He sent the message right away, I'm not afraid of your forehand. I respect it, but if I have to go there to win the point, I'm gonna do it. Okay, let's go. Let's move on. I think that the one main thing that Tsitsipas did, and that's the thing that I believe that is the most, probably the most important, one of the most important points on any game plan of anyone that plays a good player or a world class player, is that you got to be aggressive. If you think about it, usually when you play someone that is good, you have to be aggressive. How many, you just think about it. Think at club level or city or national or whatever level you are or whatever level you want to think about. When you think about the good players, there are not many good players out there. I'm talking about good players, top players in any level of the game. There are not many of them that just putting the ball back and expecting them and waiting for them to lose. You're not going to beat a lot of them. There are not many of them that are going to lose against someone that is a pusher. You can be a counter puncher, you can be a pusher, but when you have the ball, you have to put it away. Or you got to get him off balance. But you got to be aggressive. There is a moment when you have to be aggressive. And Tsitsipas, he did that. He did everything. What Federer's game is about? Aggressive, rushing, coming to the net, pretty much not giving the other guy any rhythm if possible. That's exactly what he did. He played aggressive. He was moving to the net, which to me, moving forward to the net, attacking more, that is a must. That is a must. That is a must for the next generation players. If you really want to be a good player, you gotta come after that shot every time you can. It drives me crazy to see. I still see in the game, in the men's game, and I see a lot in the women's game too, that they make a good shot, but they stay on the baseline. I always preach. You can come to the net. How many times you make a good shot on the baseline? Boom. Oh wow. And it turns out your shot is a really good shot. And the guy's he's struggling to get to that shot. And what happens? He gets to that shot, he just goes a little bit high, and you're there waiting in the baseline, starting from zero again. My dad taught me, he said, when you make a good shot, you move forward. Even if you're late, even if you're gonna make that first volley by the service line, or even a couple or 3 steps before you get to the service line. But when you stay on the baseline, when you make a good shot, you stay on the baseline, you're gonna get used. The other guy is gonna get used to see you staying back there. Your shot ends up being a regular shot because he's just gonna hit it back, and you're gonna be waiting for it in the middle of on the baseline. So that's one thing that you really want to develop. You make a good shot, move forward. You got to send the message to the other guy that if you shot, hey, if I make a good shot, you're not gonna chase that shot and just play it high. You're just thinking I'm just gonna go deep. A lot of people, I'm just gonna go halfway close, in the middle of the court, no man's land or service line, and a lot of people stay on the baseline, restarting the point. That's why I like Shapovalov, and that's why I like Tsitsipas, because these guys like to come forward. I'm starting to see that on Zverev, and I hope he keeps doing that. It's not easy because it's a change for a lot of places, a change of technique that they got to improve. You got to improve your volley. You don't learn to volley only beyond the service line, which is mostly 99% of people that start learning to volley learn. No, learn to volley, step couple of yards behind the service line and volley from there, and then move a little bit towards the service line. Don't move any, just at the most move one step beyond the service line and volley from there. I would say stand right on the service line and learn to volley from there. If you can volley from the service line, everything else is gonna be a piece of cake. So that's one thing that Tsitsipas did, moving forward, not only on the short balls that bounce really close or let's say on the serve alleys. No, balls that come, you know what? You really gotta have that awareness, reading the shot coming, say this is coming short, boom. Do this thing. watch a match, even on TV. Watch a match and count how many shots land short. How many shots land short that the guy could move forward. Many times the shot lands short, but it's coming fast. It's a difficult one. Okay, that's good. But count how many times, how many shots land short that the other guy could move forward because the shot was coming probably at 60% speed or 70% speed or 50%. And count how many times you see guys that could move forward or make a shot where the other they move the other guy, they just get him out of the court, totally wide, running, struggling all the way out there, and the guy gets to the shot, and this guy is waiting on the baseline, and there we go again. You got to start over the point. You're gonna notice that even in the pros, it happens a lot. Why? Because I mean, moving forward is not just a fact of saying, it's not just a matter of saying I'm gonna move forward. You have to be technical. You have the technique. And the most important part is the mentality. A lot of people are just afraid. A lot of people are just afraid to volley on the move. They want to volley here. They don't want to volley when they're moving. So that's one thing that Tsitsipas did that it worked very well. And you don't have to be extremely good. Believe me, you don't have to be super good at volleying. If you're not good at it, just practice it. It doesn't matter if you miss it at first. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Just volley with one. Just go with the arms as one unit. Don't move too much. Just go like sliding off the table. Think about, keep your eyes on the ball. Hit that ball clean, solid. Just focus more on clean. Hitting that ball clean in the strings. Hit that ball solid. And you're gonna see that little by little you start making much better contact with those shots and controlling it much better. So that's one thing that Tsitsipas did. Another one is he kept his focus, and he was very focused, and he had a lot of patience throughout the entire match. When you see the score, that's a kind of score I say, dude, that's a really tight match. So you got to really keep it together, and you got to really stay focused on what you want. Because when things are really tough, that's when you're going to break down. That's when a lot of people that's when a lot of your character, your presence, your identity starts cracking and start coming apart. Just stay focused and be super patient. And he mentioned it. He mentioned in an interview, they say, you know what, tell us something about mental game. And he say, focus and patience. You got to be very focused on what you want, and you got to be very patient. So you got to stick to those things. And before you enter the court, you got to say, this is my game plan, this is what I want. And regardless what happens, I'm just going to stick to it. You got to expect that things are going to go difficult. You got to expect that things are going to go hard, and you're going to be tested. You're going to emotionally, you're going to be many times, you're going to feel like you're exploding and starting playing impulsive. That's when you gave up. When you go impulsive that's when your mind is not working anymore. It's just the mind and the body are off balance, and you get pissed or whatever, and you just lose it. And you lose it. When you lose it for 2 minutes, that can be 3 or 4 games that you're down. You're 1-0. You lose your head for a couple of minutes, and you can find yourself 3-1 in a matter of 120 seconds. You're 3-1 or 4-1 down. The games go fast when you don't have your head in the right place. So he played aggressive. He rushed the net. He did everything that Roger does perfectly. He did everything, and that's how you beat Nadal as well, and that's how you beat Djokovic. You got to be aggressive. There is no other way, and you gotta be aggressive and know that, I'm gonna be aggressive and everything is gonna go it's gonna be well. That you're gonna be all the points. You're gonna win all the points. No, there's gonna be tons of points that you're gonna lose, but that's part of the balance. That is part of the balance. Being aggressive is what's keeping you here. If you go there and you just push the ball, or you're thinking that, okay, I'm hoping that the guy has a bad day, and I can beat him, then you have no chance. You're down here hoping, get up here, get to the guy, get, at the same level. Because even if you lose, you want to show the other guy, you know what, I respect you, but it's just respect. You respect everybody. I respect you, but I'm not afraid of you. And if I play you, I have my game plan. There is something that I want to do. You just, when you have a nemesis, when you have a guy that you have a hard time beating, many times it's very difficult to really think, I want to beat the guy. Like, I lost to this guy 6 times in a row, and then all of a sudden I want to beat him, like, boom. Usually what happens, especially if you play the guy consistently, you just send the message, like, I'm getting there, I'm getting to you, I'm working on it. It's little by little, and the guys see it coming. They see it coming. Believe me. They can beat you badly, but then 3-4 times, and the next time say, you know what? This time he won more games. Or even if you don't win more games, but they say, you know what? This time there were. The score doesn't say it, but there were a lot of games that were really tight. And I promise you, it doesn't matter. The score doesn't matter. He might still beat the crap out of you. The score doesn't matter. You are gonna notice when you play better and when the guy starts getting it. You're gonna see it in his eyes. They start looking at you like, wow, whatever this guy is doing, it's starting to work. You're gonna notice that right away, and it's in the eyes of your opponent. Many times it's not in the score. You're gonna notice it in the points. He's not destroying you anymore. He might still beat you 6-2, 6-1, but you start feeling it. But one thing that you'll notice is in their eyes, and many times in the way they start talking to you and treating you, because they start thinking, this is not the same guy anymore. Okay. All right, guys. Next thing. This is, I have to say, to me, this is probably like the trademark of Tsitsipas. And this is this is a phrase that I heard Navratilova say it one time, and I think that it means, this means everything in life, on and off the court. This is everything. He loves the battle. He learned to love the battle, and that's one thing that all top players have. They love the battle. Roger comes back and he plays, and he says, okay, I'm probably gonna play the French now, and I'm sure there's a lot of thinking, are you freaking kidding me, dude? They're gonna destroy you. This is a different mindset. We have to understand. These guys have a different mindset. And it's not different because they're special. They just pay the price to get there. It's available for all of us, but they pay the price to get there. You got to pay the price to get there. And these guys, they love the battle. They love to test themselves. They love the what if? Let's see, and let's see. Okay, I'm not gonna try this. Let's see. They love that. And Tsitsipas is a guy that you can tell he loves the battle. The guy, he loves to struggle. He loves the grinding. He loves finding himself in tough situations. And when you start loving it, you start growing, and you start filling the blanks of the hows. How this? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? How am I going to respond? How am I going to react? How is my perception? How am I going to be able to achieve this? How am I going to respond when this happens? When you start just enjoying the process is when you start loving the battle. When you start loving the battle, all the hows are gone. That's when you say, I don't care how. It's loving the battle takes care of that and much more. But it's a mental process. that you gotta put yourself out there and say, and they're gonna beat the crap out of you, like, oh man, left and right. But when you see that nothing happens, next day you wake up and, dude, I got my I got my ass whooped yesterday. And it's okay. Let's go. Let's go practice. Let's go play. See? In the moment is the end of the world. It's overwhelming. But then, when the next day you're like, nothing happens. Nothing happens. I mean, okay, let's move on. You know, that's when you start finding out that don't take it so seriously, dude. I mean, tomorrow is going to be another day, and you're going to be, just don't dwell on it. Prepare yourself. Learn. Learn, let go, move on. Remember, learn, let go, move on. I always say that, learn, let go, move on. Okay, next. So that is something that I really, it's not very common that you find a player that is so young and he knows very well what he wants. He knows very well his purpose, his goal, and especially the not only the physical but the mental discipline to say, because you can tell that. I mean, I remember seeing Tsitsipas 3-4 months ago. Still, I mean, not that long ago, not that, you know. And the guy will lose his head, and it's still every now and then it still happens. But you can tell that the guy is so much more centered, so much more calm. He has learned to move on. He has learned to take those 25 seconds between the points to say, okay, just learn to go, move on, recover. And not just recover, you got to be on fire for the next point. Don't waste your time. The point is gone. Move on. And the last point is, I was watching Sloane Stephens last night playing Pavlyuchenkova, a Russian girl that she's good. She got to be like 13 in the world back in 2011, but she's 43 right now. But she has made the quarterfinals of every slam, all four. You know, Russians, they're tough, especially mentally. I truly believe that the Russian women are mentally tougher than American women because of the background. Doesn't mean that I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, no often intended. I'm not saying that American women, they cannot be mentally tough. They are. But I think that when players come from a background that is difficult, like people that come from Russia, like Djokovic that came from Serbia, a country in war, like Del Potro and those guys that come from South America, you know, they come from a country where they say, this is it. If I'm not a tennis, if I don't do well on this, I'm gonna end up doing a horrible job for the rest of my life in a country that is torn by war or just, you know, difficult to survive. And nobody, and the truth is, I'm not saying this just because I saw it with my dad coming from Mexico, and he being coming from a poor family, starting as a ball boy, you know, in a club from, you know, with rich families, and then going all the way to become a Davis Cup player and playing the international tour. So when I always had the idea that one of the main reasons why we see a lot of players from other parts of the world exploding at a younger age, or you see like every week you see another Russian girl and another girl from Slovenia and another girl from Belarus, you know, or Belarus, and I see another kid from Russia, and you see this, or a kid from Montenegro, or stuff like that. I mean, it's like, because these guys, they come from a place where they're hungry. They need to get out of there. This is their way out. Compared to the, you know, I truly believe that a lot of the American kids are like, oh, well, everything is too easy for them. And I was watching Sloane Stephens, and after watching Tsitsipas, I was like, I think that she's a really good player, really good. But it's hard for me to understand how someone that already won a slam and is in the, I don't know what's her ranking, but it's got to be top 10, top 15. I still see I still see the same, at times, apathy when she's playing. I don't see that fire that I see in a lot of. I don't see that fire that I see in players that they're not even in the top 100. I see her like when things go well, she's good, but when steers start, when she's got a struggle, when the match gets tough, many times she just kind of half. I don't know if she half try or I don't know. It's just her body language is just. I mean, it drives me crazy, and I, and to me that's the reason why I said, you know what, I that makes a huge difference. That makes a huge difference when you see. I mean, you see Pavlyuchenkova coming from Russia. She's older. She doesn't have her ranking, and she probably hadn't had as good of a year last year as Stephens, but the mentality that it's so contrasting, and obviously it's shown in the game. One of the personally. One of the things that I like to see on players to see if they're good is consistency. I remember was Yankee people, oh, she sucks, she's not good, she never won a major tournament. She was number one in the world 3 years, but she has never won a tournament. Say, yeah, but I mean, still being number one in the world 2 3 years in a row, it's that's not easy task. I'm super happy for her that she won a slam, so people stop bugging her with that, but I like to see guys that are consistent. They're gonna have one day where they can play really bad, but then they're gonna have they're gonna come back to their level, and you see that even even with Nadal and the Federer. I mean, they have times, they have seasons, sometimes they have months that are not good, but the guys always come back, and that's one thing that I when I think about the Tsitsipas, and when I think about Stephens, it's just amazing. I mean, you have two of the world class athletes, but their mentalities. The way I see it, guys, is if you're a world class at anything, you should be mentally centered regardless, and if you're not. If you need to take a 2-month course to center your mind, it's worth doing it, because this is gonna give you so much more the moment you put it together. That's the way I see it. So, anyways, that's a blog for today. I hope it helps. I hope you get anything good from these tips, from these points. And I'll see you next week. Oh, before we go, please give me a like, subscribe to my channel.